Today is a very significant but yet tragic day that happened 10 years ago, which was the September 11 terror attacks. For those who don't know what happened, a group of terrorists led by Muhammad Atta, who was, according to government officials, have said that bin Laden had given him orders to attack various popular sites like Washington, New York, and basically use planes to crash into buildings and kill people. And as a result, as 9/11 went down, because it's funny, because I remember 9/11 like it was yesterday, and I remember a lot of people have said that it was a bomb. I remember a man jumping off a building because he couldn't take the smoke and the heat from the building. I remember people describing inside the building like it was just hell on earth. People burned up in fire. Children were killed in planes. Just the emotional aspect and the most significant aspect of this whole tragic event was watching the planes, watching not only the planes crash into the buildings, but watching the buildings collapse. Now, as tragic as that event was, no one seems to talk about Flight 93, which is another event that not only was tragic, but it was also heroic, because the people that were in Flight 93 who gave their lives and bodies to basically don't get as much attention as the Twin Towers do. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I noticed for the past 10 years, I've been watching the same event for 10 years straight, where they do the name readings in New York City. It seems like New York City seems to be getting more attention than Flight 93. Why is that, I wonder? Could it be because nobody really seems to care? It just seems like, the one thing that really kills me about what happened today is, number one, the name reading, it got longer. The names just kept going on and on. It was just like Michael Aaron Smith, Bobby Aaron Smith, and they sound very robotic, and yet at the end, when they were talking about their loved ones, it was just like the pain is still there, the emotional aspect is still there, which is all understandable. But how come nobody mentioned Flight 93? You all, the victims seem to be more consumed about sketching their names off this new memorial, which that was a fucking joke. I mean, you mean to tell me you couldn't put another building just to show? I understand that they're building new buildings, but why would you want to create a memorial like that? I mean, who's paying for that? I don't see nobody up front. They're talking about, well, the memorial is not no, but you don't have to pay to get in. Of course you don't got to pay to get in that, because we're flipping the dollar. We're paying for that. Our taxes are paying for that. So of course it should be free. But what kills me is that I noticed that they're building memorials in New York City. Pentagon, they don't get shit out there. How about Flight 93? Those are real heroes. I've been hearing people say, you know what, to the fire department who risked their lives, and they basically gave their lives a body for a job that they're supposed to do. Then the police officers, they gave their lives and their bodies for a job they're supposed to do. How come Flight 93 don't get no credit? I mean, a lot of people talk about, I don't see, the politicians, they don't build a building over there. I don't see architects building a building over in Shankville in Pennsylvania. I mean, where's the credit to them? It's just, I just wish for once that the people who are reading these names, who are reading it very robotically, would take this event and take it to Pennsylvania and take it to the Pentagon. It just seems like there was no news coverage of the two events. You would think this whole event happened in this one spot. And you know something, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that New York City doesn't deserve the attention, but come on, we're talking 10 years now. You could take that and go to Pennsylvania, or you could take that and go to the Pentagon. It just seems like, I'm watching the victims, and you're giving in what the terrorists want you to do. They want you to cry, they want you to be sad, and they want you to moan. My thing is that, while you're all crying and moaning, take this to the victims of Flight 93, because something, they deserve just as much credit as anyone else, because they helped prevent a terrorist attack from going to Washington. Yeah, they might have got shot down and they might have got blown up by the time it got to Washington, but it was the idea that, they weren't going to let these terrorists win, and they were not going to let this event happen where the numbers escalated to more deaths and more victims. The point I'm just trying to make is quite simple. I know this is a day of remembrance, and I know that, a lot of people lost their lives, including firemen, policemen, everyday victims, children were killed, babies were killed. We have so much happening in this event, but something, we got to start spreading the credit a little bit more. I know New York City was the most significant event that everybody remembers, but we also have Flight 93. They deserve a memorial too. I'm talking about a real memorial, not some cornfield that we seem to be looking at. I would love to see them build a building there or a museum there, not just some dumbass plaque and say, this is a grave site. If that was the case, then the buildings, then the Twin Towers are a grave site too. No, we're putting memorials there. We got people selling flags there. We got people selling posters. We got victims wearing shirts of the buildings being blown up. It's like, all this commercialism, needs to stop. And that's why I said to myself, I'm doing a video for people who are sick of this bullshit that's happening in New York City. I hope that at the end of the day, while the victims are crying and moaning, I hope they all get together and say, I hope that we can take this event, this robotic name reading, and take it to Pennsylvania. It seemed like nobody gave a shit about what happened in Flight 93. It's really sad, because they're heroes too. And something else too, only a few victims did this, because there was a lot of criticism that I thought the victims who were reading the name should have done too. Like, they should have gave respect to President Obama, because his cabinet administration helped stop one of the most infamous terrorists of our time. His name is Bin Laden, and no one seems to say, President Obama deserves the credit. I don't give shit to George Bush, because George Bush used the victims and the tragedy for other personal gain. I give credit to President Obama, because President Obama said, we secretly wanted to stop Bin Laden, and we finally got him, and now he's off the face of the earth. So kiss my ass to all the Al-Qaeda bitches and all the ones who believe that Allah is almighty, and fuck all that bullshit. But you gotta start giving credit to President Obama. Something? If you don't become president in 2012, at least I can say, this man is trying to help our country the best way he can, and he did it. One of his ways of helping us is by getting rid of the most infamous terrorists of our time. So something? Give credit where credit is due, and stop with the, it was Bush and it was Clinton. Give this man the credit he fucking deserves. As in my final closing, because I'm a little pissed off about this whole shit today. So while everybody's got their flags on their icons and on their screens, and everybody, we will never forget bullshit, do yourself a favor. Let's start giving credit to the people who sacrificed their lives at Flight 93 that don't seem to get the credit. Let's give credit to that Bin Laden is dead. That Bin Laden is dead like fucking fried chicken, and that basically Bin Laden not only will not do this again, but Osama, it will be dead as fucking fried chicken. Understand that, because believe me when I tell you, it just kills me that, Barack Obama has killed off one of the most infamous terrorists, and Bin Laden, no one wants to say, Bin Laden is dead because our president killed him. Remember that shit. Remember when you're all waving the flags and you're all reading the comic books of 9/11? Remember, President Obama took care of business, and he handled it in a way not just to save Americans, but to prevent this man from the terror that he would have spread to the world. Because believe me, Bin Laden was going to do more shit to us. So my respect goes to President Obama. He gets my respect totally. Let's start from now on. The next event we have with 9/11, I hope we go to fucking, Pennsylvania, and let's give the credit down there. Let's build a memorial down there, a real memorial, not some little plaque. Let's give them the credit they deserve. Let's go to the Pentagon. Let's get some answers. Let's get the truth out there. And more importantly, let the world know that the terrorists that try to bomb our country, we are the greatest country on the planet Earth. And you know something? President Obama, you get my respect. To the victims, who are reading the name plaque, you're reading it robotically, but if you're going to do this event, take this worldwide, please. Go to Pennsylvania, go to Shankville, and show those people in Flight 93 that, we respect you too. It just seems like New York is taking all the credit, like it's the only place in the world that got bombed, and it wasn't the only place. So, I truly hope that we as a nation get together and realize that, we don't want to give one place all that credit. So it's food for thought, but for the most part, regardless of what my personal opinions on this event are, the fact of the matter is that lives are gone, and the only way that we're going to be able to move forward is by having Jesus in our heart, have God in our heart, and more importantly, wake up every day and telling your loved ones that, I love you, and we will embrace another day together. Because some people who've lost their lives never got to say I love you to the ones that you think that were coming home, but they weren't coming home. So use your mind as your best weapon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And to the 9/11 victims of all that were involved, not just New York, my heart and my condolences go out to you.